Today is another day of cherry picking on the farm. We started picking cherries towards the end of May. This is mid-June and hopefully we shall be picking cherries till the end of June. So for a good whole month, we are picking cherries on a farm. And the reason that I'm able to pick the cherries over a period of time is because we have different varieties of cherries. And this particular variety over here, now as you can see, it's almost ready to be picked. It's a mid-season variety of cherry and it has come into harvest now. It has come into season now, and me, Michael and Elizabeth here are going to be picking from this cherry tree. This is the way we can extend our harvest period. The harvest period of different varieties can be extended if you have different varieties which come into season at different times. Now this particular mid-season variety is the variety that we are picking right now. We already have picked our early season variety or the early harvest varieties of cherries, and then we still have some late season varieties of cherry varieties like the lapins, which are going to be ready in maybe a couple of weeks from now. So from late May till late June, we will be picking cherries on our farm almost on a daily basis. And we are picking them on a daily basis because we are literally cherry picking the cherries. We are picking only the red ones, the ones that are blood red like this one over here. These are the cherries we are picking, and we are leaving any which are yet to ripen. We are leaving them on the branch to ripen. So this is how we harvest our cherries on the farm. Liz, you want to put some here? Yeah. A very poor show because we had a very adverse weather condition during the blossom period. During the blossom period, we had sudden cold, because of which the production of cherries all across this area, all across Himachal for that matter, for not only cherries but for all stone fruits, because they were blooming at that time and the harvest is affected. There are some farmers who do only cherries. They've been adversely affected the most because they had a monoculture of just cherries. They were growing only the cherries, unfortunately. But people like me, because I had a diversity of different kinds of fruit on my farm, because I also have apricots, I also have apples, I also have peaches and nectarines, all those things. So I am not as affected because those fruits, they blossomed later or before that particular adverse weather pattern hit our farm. Those have given us a good harvest, but cherries definitely have been affected all over this area this year. So like I was telling you guys, we used to pick a basket like this, which this is less than 5 kgs or maybe 6 at most, from under one tree.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just one tree. Now we are having to go from one tree to the next.
This was like 30 trees maybe?
I don't know how many,
lot.
more,
Yeah.
more than 30. I've got almost about what, 300 trees in this entire area.
Okay.
But very small, but because they were planted in 2022, only 4 years old. But regardless of that, the cherries, they grow in clusters, as you can see. They grow in clusters, and last year we had a very good harvest. And every year they're growing because they're smaller trees, so every year they're going to be bigger and they're going to be more productive. So this year I was expecting a very good harvest, but unfortunately, because like I said, the weather has sort of played the spoil sport. During the blossoms, there was a sudden spell of cold.
Okay.
And the pollination didn't happen. Then both the factors didn't work for us. The bees didn't come out
Bees.
because it was very cold.
Yeah.
Second, because of the rain and all the rest of it, the pollination didn't happen. The pollen was washed off.
Okay.
And the fertilization didn't take place. Even when we also did hand pollination for that matter. This year we did a lot for cherries. We hand pollinated our cherries. We grafted a lot of pollinizers on our cherries. All those kind of things we did. That's why perhaps maybe some of our cherry trees have the cherries on them compared to, say, other farmers in the area who have maybe nothing on the trees. And then we also have some trees on our farm somewhere where we did not hand pollinate, which have nothing on them, nothing to show for any kind of production. But at the end of the day, we are at the mercy of the weather. Whatever you might do, you hand pollinate, you get the bees, but if the weather is not right, you're in troubles. So we farmers are all going to be at the mercy of the weather.
Yeah.
So the climate change, of course, it's going to hit us, and it's hitting us. It's having that impact on how we grow our food. So this little bit is a tree which is a pollinizer which pollinates other trees. All
Which other trees?
other cherry trees.
Cherry trees. Okay.
Okay, every tree they require bees, everybody knows that, for pollination. But what they also require is pollinizers. Trees are pollinizers themselves. You cannot have a situation where you say, oh, I've got the bees in the farm and they are going to sort of pollinate all my flowers. It doesn't work like that. It depends what tree is the pollen coming from. The pollen should come from a genetically compatible tree, and this is that tree. This has the pollen which is going to be viable for pollination. The pollen from this tree, this cherry tree, should go into the cherry tree of other variety. Then only those flowers will be pollinated, fertilized. If the pollen into that flower goes from another, say another tree which is not genetically compatible, pollination will not happen, or it's going to be very poor. This is sonata. This is a pollinizing variety of cherry. This is what helps pollinizing the other cherry trees.
Amazing.
So sonata can pollinize other
Cherry trees.
types of cherry
Yeah,
trees.
because it's called a universal pollinizer.
Okay.
There are many other varieties like that. Like for example, sonata is one, and I have 3 other pollinizer varieties on the farm. You need all these varieties when you organize a farm. When you sort of organize the cherry trees, plant a cherry orchard or any orchard for that matter, you need to allocate for pollinizers. Over here on a farm, we have sonata, which is a pollinizer. Then we have one variety called the sunburst, the other one called lapin, and there's one more, it's slipping my mind, sunburst, lapins, sonata, and it'll come to me. 4 varieties I have of the pollinizers, and I have strategically planted them on the farm. This is right in the center, as you can see, bang in the center. All the flowers, imagine, blooming over here, and then the trees around it, they will benefit from the pollen because bees are going to flit from this tree to the next. So for pollination, like I said, you need 2 things: bees, of course, but bees are going to be useless unless you also have a pollinizer. Unless you have a pollinizer with a genetically compatible pollen to complete the pollination process. So pollen needs to go from here, this tree, into the other variety of cherry tree for the pollination to happen. The pollination can happen without the pollinizer also, but it's going to be weak. The cherries are not going to be like this, my friend. Try this. Try. Try the cherry and tell me what do you think of it.
That's delicious.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
What do you say, Michael?
That's beautiful.
Stunning.
Good, no? So we know the cherries are ready.
Yeah.
So juicy.
Yeah.
With the bees, do you have any like bee farm, or it's just the bees that naturally come? Like, have you thought about doing your own honey and like having your own bee farm here?
We can have our own bees, but the bees that I want to have on my farm are the native bees.
Right.
Now, what do the native bees want? We discussed that the other day. The native bees want native flowers. They don't want ornamental flowers, by the way. A lot of people, they plant flowers, but they're not they are ornamentals. Native bees, they like native flowers because those are easier to sit on, one, and that's where they get the maximum amount of pollen and the nectar from. Okay, so if you have a habitat for them, what the bees require is habitat. If you have a habitat, if you've got a lot of native flowers, if you encourage a lot of flowers growing on your farm, like we have a lot of clover growing all over the place. You see this clover all over the place? This is red clover. All right, and then we have other kinds of flowers that we are also planting, like calendula, for example. Okay, and then the cosmos, for example. And then we're soon going to have also sunflowers. So bees will want to come on your farm. You want the bees to have a habitat. They need to be healthy. If they come to your farm, they will also pollinize your cherry trees, right? Now, cherry trees, of course, will also produce the flowers, but they are not native. They are not used to sitting on a cherry flower or a cherry blossom. Okay? But we farmers need the bees, so we need to attract them in whatever ways we can.
Right.
The best way is to attract the native bees. The native bees over here is the Asiatic bee called the Epicerana. That is the bee we need to encourage to come on the farm and do the pollination for us. It's also faster. We also can, by the way, and a lot of commercial farmers do that, and they have to do that because the bee habitat has gone down. With that, the bee population in the world has gone down. What has happened is that now what they do is they need to import the beehives all over, bee boxes they get, and they rent them out, and you sort of place them strategically in your orchard. And those bees, by the way, are not they're not native bees.
Interesting.
They are the Italian bees
Okay.
coming all the way from Italy.
Okay.
Okay, and they are called, those bees are called Apis mellifera,
Okay.
coming from Italy. Those bees are in these boxes, and what happens when you put those boxes over there, because they are not native, they are not native to especially my altitude, for example, a lot of them will die.
No, yeah.
Now you guys experimented with veganism, right?
And that's not in connection with even the principles of permaculture, like bringing something that's not native across the ocean and then killing it. Obviously, that's not good.
It's not
Like
good.
it's a moral issue.
It can be, so it's a moral issue. I bring it up because you guys experimented with veganism.
Yeah.
So to produce, say, a vegetarian food like a fruit,
Right.
a lot of bees have to be sacrificed.
Yes, exactly.
They are going to die, and that is happening a lot in America as well. What I read about how you produce the almonds and say the cashews over there, they import all the bees, and the bees die in the process, just because the pollination needs to happen, and we need to eat almonds and avocados.
Interesting.
So those boxes we saw on the roads coming here.
Those are the ones.
Those
Apis
are
mellifera. Those are
Okay.
the Italian bees, guys.
Wow.
Okay, so what are we interested in? Okay, even if you don't have a moral issue, the idea is that we want a habitat here. We want a
Sustainable.
natural system to
Yeah.
thrive over here.
Yeah.
We want the native bees, the Epicerana bees, to come and sort of see this as a habitat, as a home where they can find a consistent source of food. Now what happens over here in a commercial farm, a commercial farm is going to be a monoculture, growing only one kind of things, and everybody over here is a commercial farmer, so they grow only one crop because they need to survive, because they need to pay the tuition fees. They don't have other sources of income. I don't have that problem, so I can maybe experiment with what I'm doing over here, growing a polyculture of different things. Right? So when I have that option, I'm taking it. So I'm creating a kind of habitat. Like main thing is about the habitat is there has to be a constant source of food for the bees. Now the cherry blossom has happened, for example, or the apple blossom has happened. It happens for maybe 15-20 days. After that, what is the bee going to eat and drink? No nectar, no pollen.
Yeah.
The bee colonies are going to collapse.
Yeah.
Right, and especially in a monoculture, and especially if they're going to have no habitat, no flowers for them, so they will not be happy. They will obviously, like I said, the colonies are going to collapse. They need a consistent source of food. That's why we need native flowers all over the place. We need native shrubs which produce these native flowers even in an off season like winters. In winters over here, everything is barren. There are no leaves on the cherry tree. They are deciduous. But we have some shrubs over here which are going to be flowering in winters. And those flowers are going to be used by those bees which are native over here in the dead of winter when temperatures are freezing.
Yeah, I know. I never knew there was different types of bees. Even. Hey, have you ever thought about like where they come from or anything? Never knew.
So those are the commercial bees, and we
Yeah.
don't want them.
Yeah.
We want our native bees to thrive over here, and they're more efficient. They buzz,
sure,
they
for
go
sure.
from one flower to the other a little bit more faster.
Yeah.
They also come out in colder
They're
weather.
used to it.
Yeah, and the poor Italian
Yeah.
bees, they
They're
will
gonna
do their job,
freeze.
but they also die in the process.
Absolutely. Yo, interesting.
Just remember, the stalk should come along with the cherry. This is the stalk, this is the cherry, and we just give it a little twist and a turn, and it will come in your hand like that. Okay, so this is the cherry we have, and it's a heart-shaped cherry. Can you see?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Heart-shaped cherry. So we are done.
Nice.
Okay, all that you need to take out is the cherry from the base over here. You don't need to take out the stub that you see. If you take out the stub,
No more cherries.
no more cherries next year.
Okay.
All right, we don't want to injure the tree also. All right, so it has to be a delicate business.
Okay.
You need to sort of look for. You basically, what are you doing? You're cherry picking the cherries, right? That's what you need to do today, because you need to pick only the ripe ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I wouldn't have known how to do it without you telling me about the twist.
Yeah. Also take out, Michael, any which have been eaten by the birds over here, because this over here eaten by the birds. Or should we leave it for the birds? What do you say?
We could leave for the birds.
Because you know what will happen is otherwise they'll go for the cherries which are whole. Okay, let's leave these cherries for the birds so that they can sort of have an option of going for this one and leave our
Good idea.
good cherries alone. Okay. All the trees over here, I have a particular kind of shape. They have an open center formation. We don't have anything in the center. Usually the trees, they have something in the center and the tree grows really very tall and you need ladders. We won't need any ladders whatsoever. We won't need ladders
Okay.
to pick the cherries because we have shaped the cherry trees or the apricot trees or whatever trees we have on the farm like that. We have given them what is called an wine goblet or an open center formation. There's nothing in the center.
Yes.
Okay, there's nothing in the
Easier
center.
to pick because I can get my body in here. And
And it
reach.
spreads. Like
Yeah.
Spreads like this. So this branch is spread over here, spreading in one direction. I can just pull it down a little and pick whatever cherry I want from here.
And if it keeps growing, do you prune it so that
I'm
it
going to
doesn't
prune
grow
it and
too-
keep it short. Yes, I'm
Okay.
going to do a lot of things. I'm also going to tie it down. This is called training. When you tie things down, when you sort of weigh them down, then this is training. When I come back with the secateurs and I prune the branches, that is called pruning, of course. Okay? So this is how it goes. Or so basically, farming should be convenient. It should be
Right.
something that everybody should be able to be engaged in. Otherwise, it's very labor intensive. I would have to hire a specialized laborer to get onto the tree and do the job for me because I'm unable to climb the tree. Okay, so I want to be able to do it myself.
Makes sense.
So
A
these
worm.
need certainly a couple of days more. Look at this. Couple of days more, couple of days more. But we leave them for the birds for the reason that I explained, because the birds are hopefully going to go for those ones
Yes.
and not for the new
Yes.
fresh ones like this one over here. It's absolutely fresh. If there's nothing on the tree, if you harvest all the even the eaten ones, then they'll just go for the fresh ones. Guys, let's go then. Let's go to the other tree then.
They're also There was like one variety that was quite tiny, the cherries, but there was quite a few on that tree for red.
So again, they were tiny because they were a different variety.
Yeah, yeah. You said these you're leaving?
I think we are done with this cherry tree. Look at the size of these apricots.
so nice.
Wow.
Huge. I think maybe a couple of days more and then we harvest them as well. Remember 2 days ago we harvested all the apricots
All
of
of
one
them, yeah.
particular variety?
Yeah.
Now this particular variety is going to
Still
get ready in a
hard.
couple of days.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have an extended harvest. We'll always have
Nice.
apricots on our farm, almost
close.
always in the sense for an extended period of time. We'll have them for say at least 2 months, starting June till the end of July. Otherwise, if you have one variety of anything, means they will get ready at the same time. You'll have to harvest them all and then you're done. Okay?
And it's frantic because you gotta like harvest the whole farm all at one time.
I would have to sort of pull in a lot of people
Too
here
many
to come
people.
onto the farm, leave everything else and harvest the cherries or the apricots or whatever you have on the farm. And then of course different varieties means different flavor, different color, different size. Look at the size of this apricot here.
Yeah.
Huge compared to the ones that we harvested. And it's going to taste different as well.
I was thinking that we had the apricot jam this morning
Right.
for breakfast, and I was thinking, yeah, it would taste different depending on the variety. So, do you make jams with all of the apricot varieties, or you find that some are sweeter?
We can make jams with some varieties, but it all depends on what we have excess of. That we'll process.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
So just
Anything which is
whatever in
excess, we'll
excess.
process. Yeah.
Okay.
Put your hand. And the strawberries are almost ready.
Are the strawberries specific near the cherry trees or near the apricot trees under them?
So we want something in the understory. This is the understory. This is the bed. We don't want weeds over here, right? We want something useful. We are farmers. We want to grow something which is something that we can harvest. So the strategy is to grow some food and grow something which remains on the ground, which spreads on the ground and does not grow up and shade the tree.
Right.
So strawberries do that. They crawl, they sort of spread themselves about, and they will also hopefully, apart from giving us all the strawberries, they will also control some weeds, because if they're going to occupy the surface, they're also going to obviously take the space of the weeds. That's the idea.
Smart.
And also, I mean, why not? You know, you have this tree over here, grow something underneath as well.
This is what we're finding on most of the trees, just this color at the moment.
Oh, they're going to get ready in a couple of
gonna
days.
get ready.
If you get
Yeah.
good sunlight, they're going to be ready. We're going to pick them in a
So
couple
maybe
of days.
2 more days, we go back around,
Yeah, we'll check them out.
harvest again.
Yeah, we'll check. Also, by the way, this was also harvested. This has been picked before. This has been cherry picked before. And we also have these tours that we saw. A lot of people, our guests come and they do these cherry picking tours. They book a
Yes.
cherry picking tour. So they might have come here and picked all the good ones.
So it's
So-
actually pretty good.
Harvest comparatively, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm just comparing it to last year what
Last
we had,
year.
and potentially what a farm could really produce.
Right.
Just the potential I'm comparing it with. So you don't have any cherry trees certainly in South Africa, right? You have olives mostly, is it?
Yeah, you do get cherries. In different parts of South Africa, because our climates and our soil and it is very diverse.
Absolutely, like India,
So like Cape Town, you've got more your olives and your wine.
right?
And then as you go like in the middle of South Africa, you get a lot of corn farming.
Right. Corn is growing everywhere. You know, I'm reading a book by Michael Pollan. It's a very interesting book.
Yes, I like it.
It's you read him?
I
I
like
haven't
his
read
books.
him, but yeah, I've read
Okay, so currently I'm reading this book called The Omnivore's Dilemma.
Cool.
Okay, it's about corn. I
Okay.
mean, he's got almost half the book about corn. He makes a point in this very interesting book, which I'll recommend to you guys,
Cool.
that the corn has domesticated the world.
Yes.
That, you know, it has colonized the entire continent,
Right.
entire world in a way, because we are dependent on the corn for everything.
And
Like
it's
for
more than
example-
genetically modified.
Not even though
taken
even though
over?
if it's not genetically modified, even if it's not a GMO, because we are growing corn also for our livestock, which we are feeding on.
Right. Right.
Look at the amount of space that is utilized for corn. We have to grow corn not only to feed ourselves but also the livestock,
animals that
and then we indirectly feed on the animals. Okay,
Yes.
one. And the second is that the processing of a lot of things involves the use of corn. Corn syrup
Yes.
is used in most products. We don't know that,
Yes.
but it's always there. If you read the ingredient lists of a lot of the things that we buy from our grocery store, it has corn in it. So it is something which we are growing. Like you said, you're also growing corn in South Africa, right?
Yeah, it's everywhere.
corn.
In America, they grow a lot of it.
A lot of corn.
Yeah, and over here in India as well. But it is something that he cannot do without. And he makes a point that corn is actually, basically nothing but grass, but a very productive grass.
Right.
It's growing and it's giving you something to sort of feed on, and your livestock to feed on, the cob.
Yeah, they're
Michael, you hear all the birds?
Yes,
They're protesting.
protesting.
because he's stealing their
We're
food.
stealing the cherries.
They're stealing their food. You hear that bird?
Yeah.
It goes. Then it goes.
Wow.
It's a bush wobbler.
Wow.
cool.
And always the same theme.
It's. I think it's calling for its mate. It's a mating song.
Beautiful.
So always like this. And then finally,
Wow. Amazing.
It lives in a bush, it stays in the bush. I think
It's
it
just
does come,
here.
but I'm not sure it comes to the cherries. So cherry thief over here is a bird called Himalayan bulbul.
Okay.
It's got a little crest on the top.
Yes.
Okay, that's the bird that comes for the cherries.
We
Where's
saw
that
those a lot
one?
in Rishikesh.
And also a lot of
Okay.
sparrows. Sparrows and the Himalayan bulbul. Those are the two. They
Okay.
love the cherries. They don't go for the apricots. We saw the apricots were clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
But again, Elizabeth, the problem with the birds here
Yeah.
is our doing, because we have destroyed their habitat.
Right.
You know, the bushes and everything that they fed on, lived on,
Right.
the berries that the bushes produced, we have destroyed them. So now, obviously, if we steal their food, they'll come and steal ours, right?
Yeah. And they bring obviously benefit to you while they're here. So they eat your food and then they also help in some way with the
They're
ecology.
coming for the fruit because they have got no other choice. They need to feed
Right.
themselves.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they don't prefer the cherry. They are not adapted. Again, they are not adapted to feed the cherry.
Yeah.
They are adapted to feed something as big as this.
Huh.
They're adapted to feed some small wild berries in the shrubs.
Okay.
Okay, they are adapted to feed on those berries that grow in the shrub, not the cherries. Those shrubs are not there. Where are the berries going to be for them? Where's the food going to be for them? So then obviously they'll have to come here. This is like a last sort of a resort for them to come and sort of
Yeah.
eat our fruit. This is not the first choice.
I would have thought it was first choice.
No, this is not the first
If I
choice.
was a bird, I'd eat cherries.
I know. I think maybe the Himalayan bulbul first choice could be the cherries. Looking at the kind of devastation we have had. Look at this. Again, look at this in front of me.
Yeah. There was one tree I saw where all of them were like that.
Absolutely.
Really?
So that's
All of them.
that's the doing of the bulbuls.
Wow.
They actually are beneficial, to answer your question. They're beneficial because they come to the farm and they also eat insects.
Right.
Basically they're predators.
Okay.
They will eat all the pests that we have on the farm.
Good.
But they will eat pests as a variety. Ideally, bushes, shrubs are all over the place in the wild. They produce all the berries and these birds, they feed on them. That was the cycle. Now we have broken that by destroying all the shrubs. When you destroy all the shrubs, the berries are not going to be on the shrubs. Berries are not going to be on the shrubs. The birds are going to feed somewhere. So the birds are going to come into your farm and they're going to feed on something as luscious as the cherry. Okay. But what the birds usually do is they feed on the berries, the wild berries in the forest, and they would come to your farm for something extra, something that moves.
Yes.
Like an insect is going to move. That is going to attract the attention of the predator like a bird, and then they would feed on them for extra calories, protein maybe. But as a variety, not as a first choice. Now, because the shrubs have been destroyed, the native shrubs that grew over here, they are forced to come to the farm and feed on our crop. It's our doing, my friend.